Hello all, welcome to another lesson masterclass Queen vs Rook Endgame, lesson 14. This lesson will be about the position studied by the fifth world champion Max Euwe. Max Euwe studied these positions where the king and the rook are connected and the black pieces are restricting. Normally the queen can be in the other side, and if you look at this position, it's exactly what we are going to do. It's an enjoyable technique that we apply. It's like a dance. We will see. Now the rook needs to move away, and if it goes away to h4, it's a distant defense that we will also see how to break it. But normally the rook wants to stay close to the king, and the only possible move is to go one square away to b5, because any other squares in the same file, we will simply check the king and grab the rook. So the best move for black is to move one square away from the king. And now let's start the dance. Let's start the techno. Check. Of course, the king only can go here to protect the rook. We give another check, and now we are in the same position, but we need to move our king. And now the procedure is the same. Black again can go distant or go to the best defense one square away, and the dance goes on. And as you see, we enjoy dancing and we bring another piece for it. So, and the technique goes on until we reach the border, and there's nothing black can do now because it's forced to go distant. And going distant, we simply need to control the checking square. The technique is relatively simple. We can check. The king can't go to the black square because there was a fork over here, of course. There was a fork over here. So we give another check. Now notice that we are controlling already the checking square. The king needs to go back. We want to keep controlling, so we give this check. If it goes here, I have a fork over here, so it needs to come to a6, and now we approach our king. Like in all the distant defenses, this is a proper technique to break. We have covered this a lot in the Wishbone positions, if you want to review them. So now the king is finished, because if it goes over here, I will have a checkmate. If it comes inside, I will have a fork, forking the king and grabbing the rook. If the rook moves, for example, here, we simply keep controlling the position and checkmating. So this is even better. So let's go to the beginning. Now let's look what happens if the rook goes away. If the rook goes away to a distant defense, we saw this already when we studied the wishbone positions, we need to control the checking square. So we give a check to our king. The king goes here. I will be faster, so the king tries to resist the best it can. Check. If the king goes down, I will have a fork over here, so not possible. The king tries to delay it the more it can. Another check, and again, if the king goes down, I will have another fork over here, sorry. Another fork over here, so the king comes up again. Check. Now we are controlling the checking square. So the king moves, and now I approach my king. So you can notice that now the rook can't give a check. So black to move. This is easy to see that it's over. And now we can simply check. If the king goes up, we will have a fork. So the king needs to come back, and now simply I will have the triple threat that we already saw in the video. Best thing for black to delay it is give a check, but now I am threatening checkmates everywhere, so the king needs to move, but then I'll get this fork. So this was the first technique, going to the other side. The king can't move because white pieces are controlling the squares, and then he is also restricted by his own rook. So the rook can go one square away and we start the nice dance that we saw, or go distant, and we already know how to break the distant defense. But let's now see a different position. Let's move all pieces down one square. Let's see how to break this new position. We can't go to the other side, so we need to have a second technique. Second technique, also very interesting, not so easy to remember like use Techno Dance. So we give a check, and the king only has 3 squares to go. Let's see the easiest one. If it goes here, can you recall this position? Yes, it's a wishbone position that we saw in previous lessons. So the technique is the same. We give a check, we approach our king. The rook tries to delay it the more it can. We give another check, the king goes here, we go to the other side. Now black pieces are restricted and they are forced to go into a distant defense. We now give a check. The king comes up. We give another check. The king can't go to the 5th rank because otherwise I will fork the rook again. So the king only has 1 square, and now I don't have the triple threat. Okay, I don't have the triple threat. This is the special position we saw in the wishbone positions, that we don't have the triple threat. But I have a direct check that will place black in Zugzwang for a fork. So, and check is over here. Why? Because when the king moves to any of these sides, we will fork it. So now it moves and we simply give a fork. Of course, we could try to do it in several ways, but don't need to be creative when you know a simple technique. So we saw the king going a3 to a wishbone position. So other possibilities is to go to a2, but now I approach my king. If the king tries to hide away, there's no possible we are going to grab the rook anyway. Now the king moves and we grab the rook and soon the game. So again, in this position, we give a check, and the best defense is to go here. And now we simply keep the queen on the same control of the diagonal. We go just 1 square away. So now, of course, the rook can go distant, and then we grab it with the same techniques. Of course, now it can't go distant because otherwise it will be an easy fork and an easy catch. So black to move, and the best defense is probably to go closer. And now probably you have the tendency to go here, but just notice that we are near a Philidor position. So we go king f6, king c3, sorry. The king moves, check, goes here, and we have a Philidor. I think you know how to break it. Well, if you don't remember, just go back and study the lesson on the Philidor, lesson number 1. And now check, the king moves, check, goes here. We grab the rook, and we have the enjoyment of winning the game with a checkmate. So there's another possible move over here if the rook goes a bit far away. In this situation, we'll try to control the checking square to go into a Philidor position again. So we give a check. The king comes up. Okay, we are trying to intend to go to c3, but we need to control the 2 checking squares. So now we give another check. Now we are controlling the 2 checking squares. The king can't move here because we will have a fork, so the king tries to stay, but now best defense is to go here, and if you remember well, we will get another Philidors for our enjoyment. So coming back to the start, this is the second position. We don't have the setup for the dance, so we go to the other side. Normally we will get a wishbone position, or if black tries to make it harder, we will reach something like this, and soon we will have a Philidor position like this one. So, hope you have enjoyed and see you in other videos.